sustainable, and equitable future for all. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Our last registered speaker is Matthew Kordon.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, the esteemed members of the council, town manager, mayor. I will start by apologizing. I did not prepare a written script that would hold me to the level of professionalism. I was very astonished and appreciative of the people who came before me in speaking. I had to come here at last moment. I was very busy as a candidate for NCGA, preparing my candidacy to be the best of it can be for the good of everyone here and those who are not in attendance. Now, I came to speak about 5.2, but I will pivot in good humor, as I appear to have had a misunderstanding, or perhaps there was a mistake there in the topic that I spoke to them on the phone about how I was going to be speaking on that subject.
If you'd like to wait for the budget, you get 5 minutes.
Sure.
And we'll call you back up.
Yep,
For the
we'll
budget.
call you back if you want to speak about the budget.
I'd be happy to. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. That's the last of the registered speakers?
Yes.
If you're here in the audience and would like to speak on any topic that is not a public hearing, now is your opportunity. We'll reconvene our council meeting at this time and move to our next public hearing, which is the recommended fiscal year 2027 budget. Assistant Town Manager Stacy Teachy will introduce, gosh, it's late already. We'll introduce this item and then we will open the public hearing. Council will not take action on this item tonight. Ms. Teachy.
Great, thank you very much. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here tonight for the first of 2 public hearings. The fiscal year 2027 recommended budget totals $573.5 million, which is 12.2% higher than the current year budget. The operating budget makes up $445.9 million of this total, which is 6.1% higher than the current year. The capital budget totals $127.6 million and is 40.7% higher than the current year budget. It is not uncommon to see significant differences year to year in the capital budget as these funds support infrastructure projects at varying stages of readiness. The recommended budget includes a 3.75 cents tax increase. This is equal to an additional $20 per month for the median assessed home value of $650,000. Here we are at May 28th, where we had a work session earlier this evening, and this is the first of 2 budget public hearings that we will be holding. In addition to the budget open house held in April and 2 budget public hearings, we encourage residents to reach out year-round via social media, 311, and the public speaks out portion of any council meeting. And following the public hearing, I am available for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Teachy. I'll open the public hearing and call on the clerk for any registered speakers.
We had 6 registered speakers, starting with the speaker that we are bringing back from Public Speaks Out, Matthew Kordon.
Thank you for waiting. Sorry it took so long.
My cat needs to be fed, so hopefully I can get through this quickly. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me once again. Much like the gentleman who was also a candidate for NCGA, I will introduce myself. I am Matthew Kordon, that's how to pronounce my name, for District 11 of the House of the NCGA. But I'm also a constituent here in Cary. That's the main reason that I come here to speak to you today. I did not have a script before, as you know, but I was, with this given time, able to prepare one, so I'm glad for that. And though they're not here anymore, I was, again, astounded by the level of professionalism I've seen by my constituents and neighbors, and wish to live up to that. I will be quick for my subject, because I think its excitement for many is pedantic, or pardon me, I meant to say, I'm bombing. I meant to say pedestrian. Because I would like to thank all of you for the portion of the budget that is for sidewalks and for, as it was said earlier, side paths, which I apparently like even more than sidewalks. I did not know that. And though thanking is a very quick and easy thing, it can be done by email. The reason why I'm here, however, is because I'd like to give a testimony to my own life experience as someone who's lived here for years to explain why it means so much to me, sidewalks and side paths. Now, in the 3 years I've lived here, I have been largely impoverished. I have needed to get by with the wonderful Go Cary services here, the sidewalks available, and an e-bike that I ride around on, which is a subject of ongoing regulation as of current in this city and Apex, which is also part of my district, as is all of Cary and some of Raleigh, for those who don't know of District 11, as well as Holly Springs as recent. Now, I would like to take a second to defend the importance of sidewalks and how it extends to people like myself, impoverished, and those who ride around on e-bikes, including in that group, because e-bikes are a way of life for some. It is their liberty, their mobility. It is, with the addition of sidewalks, which some people use, and not just to be on the roads, which are quite dangerous for people on e-bikes, even if they use elbow pads and helmets and correct hand signs and so forth, that it means so much to them, because it allows them to consistently get around the town and the sidewalks and their e-bikes together. And as such that I've noticed also that people who use them, they do tend to use the sidewalks. In fact, people who use e-bikes, they are 60% or more, perhaps 70% adults who use it to get to their job or to get home or as a part of their job or to transport from where they live, perhaps, or to the grocery store. It's not so much kids who are popping a wheelie or whatever it is that they do in their motorbikes, though that does happen sometimes too, and it is a problem worth regulating. It is, however, because it is 2/3 of our adults who are hanging on by a thread, that as such that they should have the consideration when doing regulation that if you are to require that they get plating, for example, registration, that could cost them a lot of money. Now, I know e-bikes are not plated the same way the cars are, but some cars, it costs them, if e-vehicle, over $400 to register yearly for their vehicle because of the tax incentives of the NCGA. That's a lot of money for somebody who's hanging on by a thread, and so I would like to use this opportunity to say, not only are the sidewalks great as a part of this budget, the $3.7 million, but also what they do for people. Now, to end, one moment, please. I care quite deeply about this subject and of infrastructure, and I really appreciate, to go back to my thinking, that you all do as well. I call it opportunity infrastructure, because that's what it is. Infrastructure allows us to have freedom, and as a libertarian, I care very deeply about that subject. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Our next registered speaker is Kamar.
Between a TLDR 7-minute video and reading hundreds of pages of budget, I would highly recommend, if you're curious as to what we're trying to do to limit the increase as much as we can, and what we're discussing as potential ways to shave, check out the recording of the work session that we did just prior to this. We have been doing this since 5 p.m. That's why we all look a little haggard. No, I'm kidding.
No,
we look
you
a little
look beautiful.
tired. But that conversation, we covered several topics in the hour, 10 minutes or so we were talking, but I think we spent a really constructive half an hour. Staff, Stacy did a great job of bringing forward some potential things that we could reduce. It's really, at this point, I feel like this is a significant shift to a values conversation at this point. It's as much about dollars and cents as it is values. And we added a work session to try to get this work done this previous Tuesday. So there are 2 this week that I think are worth reviewing. Just an observation. And I want to ask, make sure I understand, and I should have asked this previously, but does this budget, in staff's opinion, reflect a continuation of our critical maintenance investment level, or is this more robust when it comes to maintenance? I was surprised to hear somebody speaking specifically to maintenance, but I'd really like to have a better understanding of where we are. I know we discussed in one of our work sessions at length our investment in resurfacing, the mayor's favorite topic, I think.
Because since you picked up on street resurfacing, we're losing ground in street resurfacing over the past 2 years, and we skipped a year in the last 3 years. I believe we're losing ground in sidewalk maintenance. I want to believe, and Stacy can add as well, the answer is probably it depends, because there's probably some places where you're keeping pace and there's some places where you're losing ground. If you want us to summarize more, happy to do that as we move
Would you call
forward.
this critical maintenance again this year, or is there an uptick in the investment?
Well, in the critical maintenance is what I'd say it's maintenance focused. It's less expansion focused. And certainly for those that have been doing budget for longer, you may remember the days of where we were able to do more, do all of the critical maintenance and do expansion. Over the past several years, it certainly we stopped doing as much expansion, certainly try to focus on critical maintenance, but I feel like we're losing ground on critical maintenance infrastructure.
What I want to understand is, are we doing proactive maintenance or not really at this budget level?
I'll let you add as well.
I think it
Probably not.
depends on certain areas, so I would echo exactly what Russ has indicated. I will say this budget has more maintenance money in it than the prior year budget.
Okay.
So that's a movement in the right direction, but it absolutely does not fulfill the full need when you look at all of our facilities out there and what they really could stand in order to keep pace with probably what most expectations are. So we are moving in the right direction, but I do not want anyone to think that this is, gosh, everything's great and everything's up to snuff from a maintenance perspective. It's a move in the right direction.
And that delay adds costs.
Right. I've read enough books to know that is, delayed maintenance is more expensive maintenance.
And we feel the pressures of
Sure.
consumer price index and price increases as well,
Yeah.
as I know residents do.